Hi guys, and welcome to the start of another video. This one I'm really excited for. Like, I'm really excited for it, and I can't even express how excited I am, but like, if you couldn't tell, I'm excited. So, it is Friday night. It is the 27th of September. I almost said October. And I've been trying to get videos filmed back to back because I've got a lot going on in the next coming weeks, and I want to make sure I get all of my videos done and edited in time for you guys. So I think I said that before in a previous video, but anyways, also really sad day because I found out that Maggie Smith passed away today, and that really made me sad. That's like, dang. We're just losing them one by one. It sucks. But with that being said, let's actually talk about what today's video is all about and why I'm so excited. I am going to do a Stephen King reading vlog. This is my first time ever reading any Stephen King books, and I decided that today is the day to start. So I'm actually going to start off with some of his short stories. The book that I'm going to start off with is Skeleton Crew. I know a lot of people start off with Misery and things like that, but I decided to do a little bit of research and figure out what is normally a good recommendation for someone who's never read Stephen King before. And that's what came up, so I'm going to do that. But I went searching. I couldn't find Skeleton Crew on Kindle Unlimited. Libby does not have it. The other app that I use, Everand, does not have. Maybe they do. I didn't actually check, but I didn't notice that they had the ebook. But they do have the audio, so I'm gonna listen to the audio of it, and I think I'm gonna start that tonight. So that is why I'm popping in. But I also wanted to bring in Anthony here for just a little bit because he also just started Stephen King. Well, you actually, let's get him in the video. Hold on. So I did bring him into the video, but before I finish what I was saying, I also want to start this book too, but I'm afraid now that I'm attempting to read some Stephen King novels that I probably won't think too much about this, but we'll see. I read like a page and a half this morning on my way to work. But anyways, yeah, so obviously Anthony's here.
Yes, I'm here.
And I was just telling them how you also are getting into reading Stephen King. And I was gonna say that this was your first Stephen King.
It really is.
Okay.
It really is, because I don't remember anything about the technical first one I did, and I didn't finish it.
Oh,
I never finished. I got like 200 pages in, and I was like, this is too much for me for my first read. I hadn't read in so long, and I picked up a Stephen King book, the worst decision I made, so.
I will say his books do seem very daunting because they're so big. Hold on, I'm going to bring you guys a little closer here. But yeah, I will say that his books are just a little bit daunting because they're so massive. Like, there's so many of his books that are huge, like 1,000 and something page books. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lot. But I feel like you don't hear about, get your thoughts together. Books and authors don't get hyped up just for nothing. Like, there's obviously a reason why they get hyped up, right? Because they're good. People enjoy the writing. So I'm just like, I wanna see what it's all about. And I didn't realize how many things he's created have been turned into like movies or some kind of like film adaptation.
Yeah.
And he's one of those like really beloved authors. Like, people love his books, and he's got over 60 like something books or something like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like it's probably more than that.
That's crazy. So I'm excited to get into the universe, but I am a little bit nervous because I've never really. I'm sorry if you can hear our neighbor. I feel like he's psychotic.
He plays creepy music in the middle of the night.
It's literally like about to be 11 o'clock at night, and he's playing this weird haunted house like music. I don't know. Anyways, I've never really read horror books. I love like mysteries and like thriller books, but I've never gotten into the horror aspect. And I know that not all of his books, but a good majority of his books have to do with that. So I'm kind of interested to see how that will play out. I like to watch like scary movies and stuff like that, so maybe this will be something that I will enjoy. But I will say, the book. What's the book you're reading right now?
Oh, It.
Yeah,
my first real Stephen King read is It. Bob Gray, Pennywise the Dancing Clown. One of my favorite movies, so I had to start there.
Loves that movie.
I love it. And it's literally like the longest book he's ever written, so
yeah,
I went for it.
He loves that book, or that movie. We went to the movie theater. Did we see both of them in the theater?
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of clowns, so I was never really that excited, but it was good. Like, I did enjoy it. But
I have a romantic relationship with clowns. It took me a little while to realize that. I mean, It, Hisoka, and Joker. Like,
you do like clowns. Yeah, I don't know. So I was always kind of skeptical, but I read the first like sentence of that book, and I was already like, wow, his writing is really, really good. I just read one sentence, and I was like, he worded that in such a way that I was almost already absorbed into the book. And I can see how his writing would become addictive. Like,
I believe that. Yeah, I think very early on myself, like I was probably by the end of the first little part, I was like, yeah, okay, I love this writing stuff. 20 pages in, I was like, yeah, this is really good so far.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm eager, and I wanted to start this reading vlog. I'm going to, like I said, be reading Skeleton Crew. I don't know what I will read next, because we actually just came back from like, I guess a little date night of sorts. We went and stopped at the mall, even though I was there earlier, but we stopped at the mall because there's a store that is closing. I think it's called Alex Baby and Toys or something like that. It's closing down, so everything is now marked off, and all the books were 50% off. And he was like, I want to go to Barnes & Noble's and see if I can get some Stephen King books. I was like, we should just go to the mall because they're 50% off, so you'll get them for a really great price. So we ended up picking up a couple. You want to share what you picked up?
Oh yeah, you'll do them too. Oh shoot, this guy here, Carrie. I've seen the movie, but I feel like the book is gonna be a lot better. It's not a super long one. This is apparently a place where I should have considered potentially starting here, but I don't regret starting it first. I'll go big, and then everything else will seem small after that.
That's fair. If you start high, it might be easier after a while. Now, this is the book that I see most people not recommend, but most people start with, and that's Misery. And I kind of really want to read this one next, but at the same time, I'm a little bit hesitant because I know that there's like a scene that seems pretty gruesome. So, but yeah, I've never seen this cover of it, and it's a smaller paperback. I kind of like it. It feels nice in your hand.
I do like what the girl in the review, or what she was saying about it, about how he's able to kind of keep you entertained for the entire book, and it's only taken in one setting. Yeah.
I'll actually link the video that he is talking about. I went on a rampage of wanting to learn as much as I could about Stephen King and like good books to start with and stuff like that, like I said. And I stumbled upon this one girl's video, and I thought that was really enjoyable. So if you're also looking into getting into reading his books, I'll link that so you can have some ideas as well. But yes, I will say Misery, people say that does take place in just this one setting, pretty much the majority of the entire book. But everything that I've heard in regards to that, everyone has said that for it taking place in like one setting and really only interactions with like two characters, he does an amazing job. It doesn't feel like that at all. So that's exciting.
This book is Mr. Mercedes. Apparently, it's a part of a series. There's 3 books in it, and I didn't realize that it was called Mr. Mercedes because it literally starts off with some guy running over a bunch of people with a Mercedes, and it kind of goes from there. So I'm very curious as to like what really is going down. It follows like is the detective retired? It's like a retired detective or something like that. In the primary case where it starts off, it goes unsolved for years, and then the guy pops back up. So I'm eager to see how that one goes.
That should be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That one should be cool. Go ahead.
Oh, and then The Stand, which is another
That's
big
a
boy.
thick one. That is a thick one.
Yeah, it's like.
You know how many pages it is? Is it as big?
There's like a 2-page difference between the two. So both basically 1,200 pages, call it. Yeah.
I wish we would have gotten, what was it, Billy Madison?
Billy Madison is the Adam Sandler.
What is it called?
Billy Summers.
That one. I wish we would have gotten that one.
Billy
because
Madison.
I just knew it was Billy something.
Yeah.
I wish we would have picked that one up because I think I watched a reading vlog. I don't know if sorry guys, I'm gonna talk about her again. But Haley Pham did a reading vlog where she read Stephen King for the first time, and she read Misery. I believe she read. Either way, she talked about that, I think, in that one. So I was like, oh, I kind of want to see what that's about. And I know that is maybe one of his newer books. So I do think it'd be interesting to read like an older book, an oldie but goodie, but then also a newer version to kind of compare and see which ones out of the two I think kind of like are a little bit better in terms of like story, plot, like writing, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, the one that I'm really wanting to read, and this was the book where I was like, yep, I'm gonna read Stephen King because I need to read this book, is 11/22/63. Do not ask me why I am so obsessed and have this massive need to read that book. That's also a huge book, but it was because, like I always say, like I take whatever Haley says is a 5-star read or like a 4.5 stars. Anything that she is like, yeah, this was an amazing book, I'm like, I have to read it. And she had nothing but good things to say about it. She kind of, I think, kept going back and forth on her rating. But she ended up really loving it. So I ultimately don't remember what the rating was. But even the idea behind that story sounds so interesting to me because it essentially takes place during the JFK assassination, which is something that I think is super cool, where you take a piece of like actual history, but you turn it into something fictional, and that sounds really exciting. So we go back in time to that, and there's our main character, and our main character essentially learns or gets the ability to be able to time travel, and the whole idea is that he is able to time travel to try to stop the assassination. And I think that's so cool. I don't know what's going to happen, because unless they're going to rewrite time and he ends up being able to stop it, I don't know. But I really want to go ahead and read that book. Like I said, it is a big one. I think it's almost as big as
850.
Yeah, so not quite as big, but it is quite a big book. Every time I look at it at Barnes and Nobles, I'm like, wow, this book is daunting. Am I actually about to read that? But yeah, so I just really want to read that book. And I was waiting to get it off of Libby because I was going to originally read the book, but then I thought if I'm going to tackle something that big, then maybe I should listen to the audiobook. So I reserved it on Libby, but that thing has been reserved for months.
What's
like
the
wait time was so long when I reserved it. I think it was something odd like 20 something weeks. Like it was crazy. So I was like, all right, obviously his books go quick. So I was like, let me just put it on hold, and then whenever I get it is when I get it. But then I went to Everand, which is the other form that we typically use, where you can like read ebooks and listen to audiobooks and stuff like that, and they have it on there. So as soon as I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh, forget about it, I'm reading this immediately. But I want to get through Skeleton Crew first. Skeleton Crew, I looked at the audiobook time and it said 22 hours. How big is that book?
I wonder how many. She put it as one of the starters, and it didn't look like it was that big. And it looked like it was about the same size as Salem Lot. So if I had to take a guess, maybe 600-ish pages.
22 hours.
Yeah, anywhere from like 450 to 600 it looked like.
But to be fair, the audiobook for that is almost 50 hours.
50 hours, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really excited.
I've seen the movie. I'm not reading no audiobook. I'm reading it. I want everything.
That's what I really wanted with Skeleton Crew. I was really so sad I couldn't find like the ebook. I mean, granted I could buy it, but I want to save money right now.
Let's be financially responsible.
It's that simple. So, but yeah, I'm really, really excited. So I'm gonna get to the audio book of this, and you'll see clips of me listening to that because I don't have it to physically read right now. And then I'll update you guys with how that's going. And then I'm not sure what I will read next. Maybe I will tackle one of the books that's here. I was thinking Carrie, but I'm also so intrigued to read Misery.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. Hopefully I can fit at least 2 books in this vlog, but no, we're going to fit 2 books. We're going to have to. I'm not going to say I'm on a time constraint. Like, I can get other videos done while I'm doing this. So, anyways, did you have anything else to add?
A random thought came to me that you still haven't read Ready Player 2, but outside of that, no, nothing.
I'm just not in the headspace. I'm going to be honest. Ready Player 1 was probably... It's definitely still up there. I don't know what will be my favorite book of the year yet, but that is definitely at the top of the list. Like, I still think about that book, and I remember going to the movie theater and seeing it, and it was really enjoyable. I just don't think at the time I knew it was a book.
Yeah.
But reading the book, I had made a short about it, and someone was like, why would I read the book? I've already seen the movie. And I'm like, no. The movie is great, but it does not do the book justice at all. And you know, just like with any other movie adaptation, they leave out a lot of things. I remember reading the book and being like, well, that wasn't how it went in the movie.
That's the only 5-star read I've given this year.
Yeah, that book was so good.
But
that was a 5-star read. I enjoyed that.
Number 2 might be on its way.
Yeah, you're actually going through it pretty fast. You've only been reading it for less than a week, I feel like.
Yeah, because I haven't had that much time to sit down. That's why today I want to do a lot. Tomorrow and Sunday I'm going to read a lot of it, because with work and everything else, finding the time to sit down and physically read it without an audio book assisting me, and it being a 1,200 page book basically, it might take me a little bit. So every second I can get to squeeze in some extra, then yeah.
I'm so excited, guys. That's all I know. I'm excited. So, yeah. I guess, are we gonna read?
Yeah.
I think I might make some tea. I made chocolate chip cookies not that long ago, so I'm gonna have this as a snack, and I think I'm going to make some tea and then get in the bed here and listen to a little bit of Skeleton Crew. Yeah, check in with you guys in a minute. Start off by saying it's only the introduction and the music is giving me the willies. Hey guys, it is quite a few days later. I feel like it's at least a week later since I have updated you on picking up my first Stephen King book. And I originally started off saying that I was going to read Skeleton Crew because it was his short stories and it was recommended. But I think I have a change of plans. I did read, or I should say I listened to the first short story, or I guess novella in Skeleton Crew, which was The Mist. And I finished that today because I have been packing this house. We move next week and I'm so exhausted. I don't want to look at anything else. My brain just, I'm tired. And it's like one of those weird things where it's like you feel unsettled because the space that you're currently in, you're like detaching from it because you're packing everything up, and slowly things are like disappearing, but then there's just a clutter of what feels like mess everywhere. What's going on with my hair? A clutter of mess everywhere. I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel right now. I'm refusing right now to take down like these last couple of things on the wall until like I have no choice, because it just, at least it makes me feel somewhat like I'm still here. Like I'm still living here or whatever. Anyways, long story short, I finished The Mist. And I did kind of enjoy that book. It was not, I don't think it was what I was anticipating it to be. And I don't think will be my favorite book by him by far. But I loved the mysterious element to it. It did not really scare me. At all. I think it was just like unsettling more than anything. And just imagining and picturing something like that happening in real life, that actually sounds terrifying. And I really don't like spiders or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. That stuff just if it happened in real life, that would actually be really terrifying. But the book itself, I enjoyed, but I could definitely tell I was getting to a point where I just kind of wanted to finish it. And I think I need a book that I can kind of sink my teeth in a little bit more. His short stories I think are great, and it'll be good for me to go back and forth between short stories and his longer stories, just as kind of like a palate cleanser and stuff. But I think I want to like actually read like I mean, I've read this book. No, I haven't read this book. I've seen the movie before without realizing that this was one of his books. So I have an idea of the story, and I kind of just want to read this book. But that is Carrie. So I'm going to pick this up. Also, I think because I was listening to Skeleton Crew as an audiobook and I didn't have a physical book to read, made it very hard for me to get into the story. I started off really enjoying it, and every time I would pick up the audiobook, I would really enjoy it. It just would take me forever to pick it up. But I told myself today while I was packing, I was going to pick it up, get through it, and finish it so I could start reading this. And I'm glad that I did. I feel like the ending left me like kind of like, what is happening? What is going on? Like, I just feel like I still have so many questions. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start reading Carrie. This book is so tiny. Like, it's like the perfect like little pint-sized book. It'll fit so nicely in a bag, which is very nice in comparison to like a normal size book, which is like this. So it's nice. And I've never seen this cover of it, but I'm going to read it. think I'm gonna call it a night with reading, but I got a pretty good way into the book. I'm on page 43 now, and I am actually really enjoying this. I do think it makes a huge difference reading the book versus the audio. Some books I think are great as audiobooks, but there are also others that I just think read better as just like a physical read. So this, I'm realizing, I think with his books, they have to be read physically, or at least if I can, read along with the audiobook if I feel like I want to hear the audiobook. But I don't know if I could just strictly listen to the audio. Because I feel like there's not a lot going on, but like a lot being said, and it's all very, from what I'm gathering from the last book and this one, it all always kind of feels very mysterious, and there are just like these things happening with no real explanation, and you're trying to piece it together, and if you're really not paying attention to what's happening, you'll get lost so quickly. So yeah, I am really enjoying this. I think I kind of forgot how sheltered Carrie is, and in my head I kept thinking back to when I had seen the movie and thinking, like she's this quiet girl that normally like just keeps to herself, but I knew that she was bullied, but I forgot to the extent of how much she was bullied. And the first part in the book is of a particular scene which is just so heartbreaking in reality. Like if you were a young girl her age experiencing this for the first time and everybody was just acting the way they were acting towards her, that is actually something that would stay with you for the rest of your life. Like that would really like haunt me. um but yeah, I am enjoying this book a lot. I realize as well that his books are not broken up like regular books in terms of like chapters. This one is broken up in parts, so you've got I think 3 parts. Um and this first part is called Bloodsport, and even though they're broken up only into parts, so there's no exact like chapters, you get like breaks in between where it now moves to something else, so it almost kind of feels like chapters but not really. It is very much set up, like I was talking about this with Anthony, and he said it's the book It is kind of written like that as well, so I don't know if that is just like his writing style or not, but he said that that is kind of more so, it's kind of written in a way where it sounds like a movie, and I like that a lot. Another thing that I also realized that I really like and enjoy about his books so far is just the dialogue. It feels very natural, and like you're kind of right in the room with the people that are like talking in the book. And there was this one particular scene that I was like, it caught my attention because I was like, wait, they were just talking about one thing, and then you're just like having like this side conversation, and it just, I don't know, it just made it feel like what you would hear if you were listening in to someone talking in like another room or something. So I thought I would read this brief little piece here really quick. I'm gonna skip over the teacher's name because I feel like I'm gonna mispronounce it. But anyways, let's see, where do I want to start? I don't think I handled it very well, Morty, but I didn't understand what was going on. She thought she was bleeding to death. He stared up sharply. I don't think I handled it very well, Marty. I don't think I handled it very well, Morty, but I didn't understand what was going on. She thought she was bleeding to death. He stared up abruptly. He stared up sharply. I don't believe she knew there was such a thing as scratch that. I'm just gonna start from here. He handed me that little brush. Hand me that little brush there, Miss whatever the teacher's name is. Yes, that's it. She handed him a little brush with the legend Chamberlain Hardware and Lumber Company never brushes you off written up the handle. I don't know why, but this particular part here just kind of made me think what on earth? I kind of really like that. It's nothing too spectacular or anything like that, but I just think it makes it feel more tangible and real, like these are real people that you're reading about, or you're actually watching this conversation happen in real time. But this whole conversation is between a teacher and a principal at the school that Carrie attends, and I skipped part of that whole conversation because I didn't want to give anything away for people that haven't read the book, or that haven't read the book. I'm sorry. Clearly, I'm tired. But yeah, I just like the fact that he was just in the middle of this pretty big conversation. He's just hand me that little brush over there, and you kind of get sidetracked by that, like you would in normal conversation, I guess. Not sidetracked, but it's if you were to be sitting there talking to a friend about something, and in the middle of talking to your friend, you're also cooking, and on their side is the scissors, and you ask them to hand you the scissors. I just felt that felt very realistic. And it just wasn't overly explained. It's just something that just happened and it flowed. So that is my long-winded explanation of that. But I am very much enjoying this book. I am hoping to get to part 2 by tomorrow, but we will see because I do have work tomorrow. Yeah, I will keep you guys updated. Hopefully I can finish this book at least by Tuesday. Maybe not Tuesday, because I just remembered I don't have off on Tuesday like I normally do. We will see when I get it finished. It's a little bit hard to balance everything right now because of packing the house and work. But I'm making do. I'm making do, and I'm trying to find as much time in between everything else to pick up the books that I'm trying to read and read them. So there's that. And I also decided I'm going to treat myself after all this is done. Once we're moved, I'm going to the bookstore and I will be buying 11/22/63 because I think I will tackle that big boy next. I'm going to sign off for the night because I am tired. And I should probably get to bed earlier tonight since I work in the morning. And it is 9:30 now, so yeah. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey friends, I'm actually about to go ahead and leave the house because I have to go to work, but I figured before I go to work I would like to update you guys on where I am in Carrie. And first off, I am loving this book so much. I really do love his writing and just his writing style in general, but this book has been really, really good. I also finished The Assistant to the Villain today as well. But I am currently now on part 2 of Carrie. I honestly would have been a lot further along in the book because it's been quite a few days since I last updated you. I think the last time I updated you guys was Sunday and it's now Wednesday, but between work, packing, and reading the other books that I've had on my list, it's just been a lot going on. So, but I did want to update you guys and let you know that I am picking the book back up, and I have hopes to finish this book today because my plan is to finish editing this video. Thankfully, I've been editing the video as I've recorded each clip, thankfully. That was the first smart thing that I did when making this video. But long story made short, I would like to finish this video so I can get it edited. This way it is done, and all of my videos will be pretty much done from this point, and I can go ahead and pack up the whole desk situation for the most part. So that is where I'm at right now. And yeah, I mean, thoughts on Carrie so far. It is very good, very fun, pretty much exactly what I remember from the movie for the most part, other than, I don't even know why I still have my AirPods in, other than you get a lot more detail obviously than you do in the movie, but like just the idea and the thought of how religious this mother is actually quite terrifying. And that to me doesn't really seem that much of a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler at all, actually. I think it's pretty known that her mom is very religious, but either way, but we are now at part 2, like I said, which is the part where she goes to prom. So this is, I think, where things are going to really pick up the pace. So I'm very, very excited. I will update you guys as I continue to read. And yeah, but I do have to go ahead and get out the door because I need to go to work. So I will talk to you guys later. Like you guys are joining me in such an odd place to record. I've never recorded in here before, but I actually don't really mind it. But there's obviously a lot going on. I'm in my closet right now. But I just got home from work and I wanted to update you guys really quickly before I go shower, because I'm almost done with Carrie. And my goal is that I will finish this book tonight. I think there's like 290 pages or 90-ish pages in this book, and I'm on 225. So probably maybe roughly about an hour till I finish the book. But I'm going to attempt to finish it tonight. I want to go shower first though and get comfortable, and then I will pick up the book and finish it. But I'm at a very like climactic part of the book for sure, and I think this is the part that I've been like on the edge of my seat for the entire time, and I don't really remember much that happens in the movie from this. I just know things like kick off here, but I'm really enjoying this book and it makes me want to rewatch the movie. So now I need to see if the movie is available anywhere, because I'm off tomorrow, so maybe I can watch it then. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, I am definitely enjoying Carrie very much. So I would say right now, I'm not finished with the book, so I'll wait until I like finally finish to give my full rating, but I'm definitely giving this one like a 4.5. This one I enjoyed way more than The Mist, and I don't really know why. I think I just really was confused a little bit when I was reading The Mist, and I think that confusion came because I was listening to the audio instead of being able to like physically read it, that it just didn't translate for me very well. So maybe I will reread that book one day, like with the physical book. We will see. But yes, that is my little brief update before I hit the shower. And now I need to go do that so I can stop talking and read the book, because it is already about to be 9 o'clock. It is 8:57. And even though I'm off tomorrow, I do not want to stay up all night reading. is the next morning. I just got up not that long ago, but I wanted to pop in and let you guys know that I finished Carrie last night. Yes! And this was so good. I really, really enjoyed this book. I like how the story was written. It was written as if you were reading like someone else's story that they wrote. So like one of the characters in the book, it's like you're reading her story of what happened, and I just really enjoyed that. I also really like the fact that it's broken into parts. I think I had mentioned that earlier. So it's broken up into 3 parts. What is it? It's blood something, blood sport. It is prom, and then I believe the reckoning. And I don't know. I really, really enjoyed that. I've never read a book, or Wreckage. It's Wreckage. I've never read a book that was written in that kind of format. You know, I'm typically used to like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. But I thought this was different. I think I'm gonna end up giving this book a 4.5. Like, I feel like that is pretty solid for how I feel about the book. It's very, very easy to read, very fast paced. And I think it was also helpful, like I said, to be able to read the physical book versus listening to the audio, because going back to The Mist, I did enjoy it. I just felt like I wasn't getting immersed in the book like I did with Carrie. And I think it may just be like his writing style. So if I do ever read his books and like listen to the audio, I have to like actually be physically reading it to listen to the audio, I think. But yeah, I don't think I gave a star rating for The Mist. I ended up giving that, I think, a 3.5 stars. So yeah, that is my thoughts. And that will conclude this video, because I'm not going to be able to fit in another Stephen King book right now. But probably make a part 2. And maybe my part 2 I'll read like Misery. And I'm definitely picking up 11/22/63. I told myself after this whole moving process is done, like, honestly, if I have the energy, maybe the daily move, I'm going to run over to Barnes & Nobles and pick up 11/22/63 as a gift to myself. So I'll be reading that too, and I'm very excited. But that is all. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you have read any Stephen King books yourself, and you have some recommendations for me on which ones I should check out next, you let me know in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!